we're live. Hey folks, this is Storm331. As promised, I'm going to get started on the Ricotta and Donna character and skill guides. These are the last two characters of the game we need to go over, so we're going to get those done today. We'll wait till next week to cover the rest of the guides. We'll probably spend an entire day doing that and finishing up the rest of the main gameplay thereafter. But anyway, we're going to be covering Ricotta Beldine first, who's the fifth character that we encounter during the course of the game that becomes playable. We're going to go over her strengths and weaknesses, her skills, and what I would consider to be recommended skills to use for the endgame. If you enjoy the content that I've been putting out on both YouTube as well as Twitch, feel free to sub to my YouTube channel, as well as give me a follow, as well as leave a follow and sub on my Twitch channel. That will help both my channels grow and allows me to inspire myself to do more content for both of them. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So Ricotta is basically our second striker after Sahad. She's pretty much the polar opposite of Sahad. She has more defense and more movement speed than he does, but in comparison to his attack and hers, she's pretty much the low end of on the attack end. She does, in terms of party stats, she has the worst HP out of the whole playable party with only 3,500 at the end of it. Like Loxia, I did bring her for the fight with Sylvia for her side quest, so she has an additional 5, but she would normally have 661 without the plus 5 increase. But she has like the second highest defense in the entire game of 423. So despite being more of a glass cannon character, being prioritized in attack and speed, she's actually pretty much more durable, but less HP than needed to hold down those lines. But she's probably the only character in the entire game that actually functions as both a close-range fighter and a mid-range fighter, and that's thanks to her weapons, the mace clubs, which allows her to attack both close-range and mid-range. So she's the other character aside from Hummel that can do that pretty darn well. And as you progress through later in the game, she actually specializes on dealing stun as well as status effects like poison and burn. Some of her skills, when they get maxed out, allow her to inflict either poison or burn statuses. And she also serves as the party's token thief, thanks to her skill Bandit Tackle. So this actually makes it a lot more useful to hunt down very rare items that or materials that you're trying to get off of enemy drops, like Essence Stones or Aura Grass and the whatnot. So she's actually pretty darn useful in those areas. Once she gets access to Dino Throw, her last skill, she'll be able to start doing buttloads of damage out on the battlefield and clearing out raid battles pretty easily. So let's move our character from... Let's look for a camp area to go to. I think we'll go to this one. So anyway, now that we got all of Ricotta's introductions and what she can do out of the way, let's go ahead and cover her skills. We'll be going through the order based on their power. I will not be telling you which level you'll get these when they start for availability for sparking. I will have that posted on my channel description once I highlight it and export it to YouTube. So be sure to keep an eye out for that, as it'll give you a general idea when to start sparking these skills. So let's go ahead and get started with her first one, Wild Spin. This is one of her default skills. This allows her to basically perform a swing attack in the air. You can actually move forward during the attack. And this actually surprisingly acts as her launcher skill. I have used it against bigger enemies, and this can actually lift them up if you hit this attack multiple times on them. Basically, when you level up and master the skill, this will improve the strike range of your spin. Coming up next is Bandit Tackle. This allows her to steal any items that she hits enemies with. This allows her to perform a very quick tackle. Any enemies that get hit will randomly drop one of their possible drops. You can't decide which one you get until she connects with it. Sometimes you can get a steal drop as well as the actual drop after they get defeated, but most of the time you'll actually get one or the other. On rare cases, can get two. But if you want to improve those odds of getting two items, one for the steal and one for the actual drop, be sure to have her equip bandit gear or the Gambler's Coin accessory, and that might help her improve her odds of getting more. So basically, when you level up this skill, this actually improves the distance of your charge range as well as the force of that attack as well. So coming up next is Screw Fang. This is basically a stationary attack. It's kind of like a rapid spin, but it unleashes a short shock range. Shockwave after performing the attack. So basically, leveling up the skill will improve the shockwave range when you perform the attack. This is actually very good for hitting enemies on higher elevations for the most part, but pretty much nothing else. Technically, you can just go with something else that can do just as good as that. And finally, we come up to Handmade Trap. This is another one of Ricotta's default skills. This allows her to put 3 bear traps on the ground. Leveling up will improve the size of the traps, and mastering them will allow the opponent that gets hit by them to be inflicted with poison status. So if you have poison adding gear, you can equip that to Ricotta, and you can basically load up on poison damage. This actually works better on raid battles and larger monsters, because this can be used to immobilize the enemy multiple times as long as you have enough SP to throw as many bear traps as possible. But other than that, don't be expecting very high on the damage aspects. Alright, let's go ahead and switch to Beast Attack, Green Whip, Mighty Orbit, and Flame Swing. But before we get started on those skills, let's go ahead and rest up and get that SP back to max so we can perform the skills for demonstrations. Sorry, I got myself a quick water. So the first one of these skills is Beast Attack. This is another one of Ricotta's default skills. She starts off with 4, same with Donna. And basically when you perform this attack, this allows Ricotta to do a short range charge, and leveling up and mastering the skill will enhance the slash attack, the swing effect of that attack, and probably adds flames to it. So I haven't really tested this out against enemies. This might inflict burn, but it might not. But if it does, leave a comment on the comment section when this gets put out on YouTube. But basically, this changes the slash effect to a flaming attack pretty much. So Green Whip is the next skill that Ricotta gets. This allows Ricotta to basically perform a mid-range attack that allows her to slam her maces on the ground. This actually adds a slam effect on any enemy that gets hit by this attack, and this also improves, when you level up and master it, this also improves the distance as well as the hit radius of the slam. This is actually a pretty decent move, but keep in mind if you're moving forward with this attack, this will usually miss any enemies close up, so it's best to stay stationary when performing this attack. Mighty Orbit is next. This allows Ricotta to spin around as seen in the intro and attack any enemy within proximity range. The downside of this attack, this causes her to get dizzy and you lose control of her. It is possible to get out of that dizzy stance by hitting the evade button. Basically, when you level up and master this skill, this improves the hit radius of the attack. This actually is one of Ricotta's best stun skills outside of Dino Throw, so you can use this to stun enemies with higher health pretty quickly. And then finally we come up to Flame Swing. This is one of my favorite attacks because this allows Ricotta to basically inflame her enemies with a swing with her club maces. Leveling up and mastering the skill will improve the range of the flames and also adds a short-range projectile to it. And this also inflicts burn on the target as well. So basically, this is one of my favorite moves to pair up with Triple Banger, and that allows me to inflict burn. Some of the enemies in the former Crypt, the bonus dungeon near the end of the game, have some enemies that are actually susceptible to burn and take buttloads of damage once it expires. So burn is not to be underestimated for late game. And now we're going to go ahead and cover her final skills, being Rumble Thorn, Triple Bang, Spiral Dive, and of course Dino Throw. And we'll start off with Rumble Thorn. Rumble Thorn can be acquired through the Thorn manual skill. This allows Ricotta to jump into the air and throw down some seeds, creating some trees and roots to attack the enemy. Leveling up and mastering this skill will allow you to improve the attack range of the roots. It's more of a proximity attack once it's mastered, but it's a very good one to have. Next up is Triple Bang. This is attack allows Ricotta to perform 3 strikes, and leveling up and mastering the skill will add a vortex, a short range vortex attack to the attack. So this also allows her to inflict burn on the target, and this is actually a pretty darn good skill. And always keep this on for inflicting burn, along with regular attacks and flame swing. Spiral Dive is the next skill. This is one you'll learn from defeating Master Kong. This allows Ricotta to dive into the air and perform a impact slam to the ground that hits any enemies. Leveling up and mastering the skill will allow you to improve the shock range of that impact attack, which is very good to have. And then once we get done, we're going to go over and look over Dino Thron, which is, in my opinion, is probably her best attack skill in the entire game. It makes her very dangerous to use in both raid and home battles alike. So basically, Dino Throw allows her to chuck a massive primordial bone at the enemies, covers a massive range, and that's S rank stun and B plus break and A regular A for power are pretty nice adjectives to the mix. So leveling up and mastering the skill will improve the range of the bone being thrown as well as its size. This also inflicts poison on targets as well. So if you want to add poison to enemies, be sure to add poison equipment to that, and you'll be able to get poison on those enemies. But mostly you'll be using this in Mighty Orbit to inflict stun. So in regards to what skills I would recommend for Ricotta, the ones I would probably recommend her are pretty much the following: Flame Swing and Triple Bang for burn, and Mighty Orbit and Dino Throw for stun. So basically, you'll be using Flame Swing and Triple Bang along with any burn, add burn equipment to it to inflict burn on enemies. Whereas Ricotta will be able to inflict Mighty Orbit and Dino Throw for stun. So this is actually very good against more of the stronger normal enemies and bosses. Like I said before, Dino Throw actually does insanely well in raid battles. So by the time she gets access to this and masters it, you'll probably want her in most of your raid teams most of the time. Same goes with hunt battles. Of course, if you want my honest opinion, make sure you're in the air when doing Mighty Orbit, because Ricotta does have a dizzy recovery animation, so you will not be able to access or move after she gets done with this move. Of course, you should also consider getting Bandit Tackle. That's actually very useful for farming resources that you're trying to struggle to get off of enemies. And she does have quite a bit of skills, but I'll save those for the recommended skills to be mastered. But anyway, that concludes Ricotta in a nutshell. Hopefully this guide will be enough to give you a general idea of how to use her for your playthrough and what she's more capable of. I'm going to take a small break, rehydrate my throat, and we're going to go ahead and switch over to Donna, who's going to be our last character and the main heroine of this story. And we're going to go over her character as well as skill guide next. So let me get her into position for a bit, take a small break, and I will be right back shortly.